I'm going to title this video Heart-Wrenching, maybe Heartbroken. This one's going to be personal. This one's going to be incredibly personal. I just heard an hour or so ago that a friend of mine's older sister, actually two friends of mine, one's older than I am and one's younger than I am. Well, the middle child is their sister Jen. She killed herself this morning. She was a part of something that we all went through when we were younger. This isn't the first time I've talked about this with friends or family, but this is the first time I've ever said this to people that I don't even know. We did pornography when I started doing it when I was almost 14, and I quit doing it around the time I turned 16. Jen, the girl that killed herself, her younger brother, who was 10 when I was 14, was also involved. Her older brother, Matt, was 17 when I joined, and he was addicted to some pretty serious drugs, and so he brought his brother and his younger sister into the group for drugs. There were 15 of us that were there on a regular basis. There were 16 of us, including Jen. In February of 2006, the one of us who was doing the best in life, he was a star athlete at his high school. He was getting good grades. He wasn't dating much, but out of all of us, he seemed like the real hope. He killed himself. When he was 17, I was there for it. He sort of died in my arms, not quite, but sort of. He was the first. Since he died, between 2006, the beginning of 2006, and today, 13 of the boys and one girl are dead. Drugs, suicide. One got himself killed fucking with the wrong people. Those two brothers and myself are the only ones left. I tried to kill myself when I was 15. I wrote my parents a nice long note or at my head with a wet towel so that I wouldn't make a mess. And then I put a loaded pistol barrel in my mouth and I pulled the trigger. And the gun didn't go off. After that, I tried pills a couple of times. But when Sam died, after he committed suicide, I got a real understanding for how it affects friends. And a really good idea of how it would affect family. So I've given my word to friends and family that I won't do it, despite my health and despite my past. I could have seen Sean, Jennifer's younger brother, the one who was 10, I didn't expect this from Jen. No one expected this from Jen. It really fucks with your head. I've lost a lot of people. I have as many friends in the ground as I have above it. The doctors say what I went through was sort of like going through war. It's how I got the post-traumatic stress disorder. Doing porn when you're that young, it fucks you up. I can't be intimate with anybody. I haven't been intimate with anybody. I tried, it failed. Recently I tried, but up until last month I hadn't been physically that close to anybody in 10 years. And I don't know if I'll ever be able to. While we're on the subject of death, see, it changes you. Traumatic events, they change you. You become a different person. I was raped when I was 11. That made me into a different person. Doing porn changed me again. And in 2007, actually in 2006, when Sam died, it changed me even a little bit more. But in July of 2007, my father, who was in amazing physical shape, he died randomly and suddenly. A fungus in his leg, a clot of some sort, let go, and it killed him. And I found him. And you know, you walk in on somebody who's been dead for a little while. He was taking a shower before dinner, and dinner was ready, and I was going to tell him that dinner was ready, because he normally makes it down the stairs pretty quickly after dinner, or before dinner. When you see someone who's been dead for a while, they don't look human. Their skin becomes sort of a purplish ivory bluish, pale like porcelain. Of course, they get cold and stiff. So I walked in, and my father was spread out. He had died while he was putting his socks on. He was sitting on the edge of the bed, so he fell backwards. And the instant I walked into the room, I knew he was dead. And then, I tried to wake him up anyways. But the instant I touched his hand, it really clicked that he was dead. It was different than when it was with Sam, because even though Sam died, he seized, he collapsed, he overdosed on a very specific painkiller. We thought he was drunk. He was drunk, so we were doing the keep him moving thing, which probably killed him even quicker. But with Sam, he crumpled, but he was still warm when I left. Dad was cold, his eyes were open, and in the movies you do that thing where you close someone's eyes. One of his opened again. But the thing is that I can handle stressful situations, whether it's just in my personality or if it's something I picked up over the years. I didn't lose my head for several days after Dad died. He was my hero. He was my greatest supporter. He was my biggest hero. And he was one of my best friends. But with a father-son relationship, the boundaries never got confused. And I had to tell everybody in the family twice. When I told my mother, when I yelled down, "Mom, Pop's dead," her reply was, "Fuck you, that's not funny." When I told my brother, I asked him if he was sitting down, and he said yes, but turns out he was walking to his car and collapsed in the parking lot when he heard. I had to tell Dad's younger brother, Matt, on the telephone that Dad had died, and it was just a few days from Matt's birthday. There was actually a family gathering happening there, which Dad couldn't go to because his leg was hurting him. So all of my father's family were in one place when I called. That changed me. I'm a completely different person than I was when I was 11, when I was 13 to 16, than I was when Sam died in 2006. When I was 22, and when Dad died when I was 23. And now Jen's gone. It fucks with your head. I never thought I was going to live to be 18. Definitely never thought I was going to see 21, and I sure as fuck never thought I'd make it to 27. I sometimes wonder how I'm still alive and they're all dead. They're all dead. All except for Sean and Matt now. Jenny was cool. You would have liked her. Anyways, my 15 minutes is up. So I'm going to upload this now. And then I'm going to write a very long letter to Sean.